bright white smile can light up a room, and today consumers have more options than ever before. You're watching the Health Focus Network. I'm Dave Erickson. Today's topic, the truth about teeth whitening. My guest today is Dr. Charles Regalado. Dr. Regalado has been practicing dentistry in the state of Washington for more than 20 years, so he knows about white teeth. Dr. Regalado, you have a questionnaire that you give to your patients when they come in. And on that questionnaire is, are you happy with your smile, the color of your teeth? And a lot of people aren't.
Dave, I would say that about 90% of my patients check off that they are not happy with their tooth color. And you might think it's the 20-year-old, it's the teenager, the 30-year-old trying to get a job or something like that. Dave, I will tell you, it runs the gamut from that person to the 85-year-old grandmother, grandfather. It amazes me. We've all known that whitening has really taken off, but it's extremely popular.
Well, and who makes it for a good candidate?
You know, that is a great question, and your dentist really needs to guide you on that. If I see somebody comes in and their teeth are in the light yellow range, they're an excellent candidate. Yellow to light yellow, even a little darker yellow. You get into the browns and the gray tones of teeth, and those people are going to whiten, but they're going to be disappointed. They're not going to get the white color that they see in a magazine or so that they really would like to obtain. So those are not the best candidates. And then there are certain very stubborn and very difficult and resistant bleach cases of those cases that have very just intrinsic dark staining. And certainly get a good checkup, because anyone with hidden cavities, things you don't know about, periodontal disease, a lot of gum recession, people with sensitive teeth, not good candidates.
There is such a big emphasis on big bright white smiles in the magazines, and the over-the-counter options and systems available are many. How do you feel about those options as being effective options for people?
I think the only one that over-the-counter wise that's effective would be the whitening strips. I think the rinses and the toothpaste are pretty much a waste of money. The whitening toothpaste work actually, but what I don't like is they're abrasive. And so anything that's abrasive on your tooth surface is just going to actually create more porosities and give it a rougher texture, and you're going to be attracting more stain later on. So it's a great way to keep you buying their product. The whitening strips are, however, have some of the same ingredients that we use in the dental office. Hydrogen peroxide is what they are. They're very short-term acting, but that's what hydrogen peroxide is. It's not a stable ingredient, only lasts about 20 minutes. But it'll give you a whitening over time. You'll see a difference, but again, only in the good candidate cases.
There's a certain level of sensitivity that people feel, and it can be kind of painful if they do overdo it, right?
It's very unfortunate. To get good bleaching, you've got to bleach through the enamel and break up those molecules that our eyes are seeing as darker color. But also you want to get down to the dentin. As we know, dentin's very sensitive. That's why we numb teeth when we work on them. So anytime that starts to get contacted, you're going to get some sensitivity going on in this. And it might cause someone to stop bleaching way sooner than they want to, way sooner than they can before they get that effect they want. So it is unfortunate. So that's why it's important to pick who's a good candidate and who isn't.
Some of these over-the-counter solutions are temporary, but there's some in-office options that are more long-term, as in these these lights that you put on teeth. Tell me about those.
You know, I'm not all sold on those. They're very popular. I get asked all the time, do you do laser whitening and whatnot? Most of the time what it is just visible light, a high-intensity light. We do know that if you put a high concentration of bleach on a person's teeth and put a light with it, it's heat and the energy, it's just going to activate the bleach a little quicker. So you're going to see an immediate result. And people get excited about that. However, almost immediately when you're all done and you go home, that night, next morning, they're going to start relapsing right back to where they were. It's not going to be as white as when they left the office. So interestingly, most of the, and I think it can be more, it's definitely more costly. Almost all the systems that do the in-office bleaching, along with that, they send the patient home bleach trays and bleach, and they tell them to now start bleaching every day. So which one is doing the major work? Is it the expensive light or is it the bleach trace? I'm a bigger fan of low dose, over time, a time release formula of the bleach. It's going to get deeper, less pain, and you're overall going to be happier with the result.
Not to be corny, but you're changing people's lives.
It does change people's lives. It literally does. It literally does. And I get cards and I get letters from people. You know, we're talking about bleaching, and obviously there are some cases where I need to resort to more permanent solutions too, Dave. Veneers or even composite veneers. You don't have to go through the higher expensive porcelain. You can do composite veneers and do a beautiful result. So it literally changes lives. I'm happy to do it.
Dr. Regalado, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.